Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today I have a competitive ranked monsters deck for you guys. And that is consume monsters, or hungry monsters. And the way this deck works is you're going to be basically consuming different cards on the board, and in doing that you're going to be buffing certain other cards. And there's all sorts of kind of different synergies going on there. So we have the Unseen Elder. Spawn Unseen Elder, deploy, consume 3 allies, but strengthen instead of boosting. So basically when you play him, you can eat 3 units, and in eating those 3 units, you'll then trigger 3 consume effects. So that's the kind of idea behind the Unseen Elder. Then we also have Regis, Higher Vampire, deploy, look at 3 random bronze units in your opponent's deck, consume 1, and shuffle the others back. So we can use this to, again, trigger consume effect and also remove cards from our opponent. We have Caretaker, deploy, resurrect a unit from your opponent's graveyard. So this takes a card out of your opponent's graveyard and plays it on your side, and that includes silver cards, so just be aware of that. We have Geralt's Igni, deploy, destroy all the highest units on the opposite row if that row totals 20 or more power. So if a row stacks up to over 20, we can use Igni to basically burn the highest units on that row, and if it's a tie, we'll hit both of them. And then we have Succubus. Now, Succubus is a really interesting card. If played on your opponent's side, then after 2 turns, at the start of your turn, move the highest unit on its row to your side. So basically, with Succubus, you can play it on your own side for just 6 points, or you can play it on your opponent's side, and after 2 turns, you'll basically take the strongest unit from their side and move it over to your side. So that's the kind of idea behind her. And you can also play her in synergy, for example, with Frightener. Deploy, move a unit on another row on this side of the... move a unit on another row on this side to this row. Draw the top card from your deck. So you can actually, for example, play Succubus and then use Succubus to pull Frightener back over. You can also use Frightener to maybe move a very strong unit to the same row as Succubus if a strong unit appears after you've played Succubus, or they move the strong unit away. So there's some synergies going on here. Frightener also is used to obviously draw a card, which gives you card advantage, and is played on the opposite side. Then we have the Crones of Crookback Bog. We have Wispus, Weavus, and Brewis. These 3, basically, if you play one of them, it'll summon the other 2 out of your deck. So you can use this for a 20-point tempo play. It's really nice to be played in the 3rd round, for example. Then we have Katakan. Deploy, consume a unit from either graveyard. So if you consume a unit, obviously, this card will get boosted by the amount of power that it consumes. Same as Regis, when you consume a unit, you get its power. So we're going to eat a unit, we're going to get a consume effect, and we get to choose the unit from either graveyard. So we can use this to remove powerful units from our opponent's graveyard, and also just to gain a lot of points. And then we have Fiend, toggle a unit's lock. If it's an enemy, damage it by half its power. So we can use this to, deal with some kind of problematic opponents. Then on top of that, we have 1 Archgriffin, clear weather from the row on your side, so we can use this to get rid of weather, along with our 2 first lights. Spawn Clear Skies or Rally. Clear Skies will remove weather, Rally will pull a bronze unit from our deck. And then we have our kind of bronze consume units. So we have our Vran Warriors. Now when you play these, it consumes the unit to its right. Every 2 turns at the start of your turn, consume the units to its right. So when you play it, it starts eating units to its right. And on top of that, we have our Vran Warriors. We also have our Arachas Behemoths. Whenever an ally consumes a card, spawn an Arachas and damage self by 1. So whenever something gets consumed, this guy will then spit out a little Arachas and damage itself by 1 onto the middle row. So we can basically set up a chain reaction of like spawning Arachas and eating Arachas, which is a really nice option basically, and get the middle row really stacked with spiders. And if we want to trigger more consume effects, we have Ekamara. Deploy, gain resilience, and consume an ally. So it's a resilient unit, so you can use this to eat a big unit on your side and also trigger a consume effect. And last but not least, we have 3 Nekkers. Whenever an ally consumes a card while this unit is in your hand, deck, or on your side of the board, boost self by 1. So basically with a Nekker, it gets boosted whenever any consume effect happens. And when a Nekker dies, it actually pulls another Nekker from your deck. So you can then kind of basically periodically boost the Nekkers and pull them out onto your board across each round. But that's the gist of the deck. If you enjoy this deck, do hit that thumbs up button, guys. But without further ado, I'm going to jump into a game and show you guys this deck in action.
Patience is not a virtue I am known to have.
The gate must be secure.
Okay, so we're up against Emir and Nilfgaard, which means we can probably expect Rot Tossers. Rot Tossers aren't too bad because you can eat them. Like, if they throw it over, you just eat it and everything is fine. We've got 2 Behemoths, which is really nice. We've got 2 Vran Warriors and 1 Nekker. I don't think we need both of these first lights against this matchup. We definitely don't want another Nekker. And a 3rd Vran Warrior, I think, is probably excessive, so we'll mulligan that as well. Basically, just trying to find a Crone, for example. We don't need them now. We're going to use them as a win condition probably for the 3rd round, because it can be a very kind of big tempo play. But we'll see what we got. What did we get? We got Katakan. Katakan is good. Katakan is good. Okay, so do we have anything we can actually use to start triggering consume effects? Not easily. I mean, we could Katakan, but there's nothing obviously in the graveyards at this point. What we could do is we could start eating Nekkers. That's an option. So what we'll probably do for the time being is we'll play a Behemoth, like so. And we'll see what our opponent does. We'll basically start to get everything set up. There's the Rot Tosser. Like I said, we can eat this or we could lock it. So again, I'm not crazy worried about that. The problem is obviously that's not gonna start a chain. We'll probably end up locking this, to be honest, for the time being. I think what I'll do for now is play my... Let me think. I think, although we could consume this with this, but that's not that useful either. We've got one more turn to kind of decide. I think I'll play my second Behemoth for now. And then after that, we'll probably lock the Cow Carcass. Like I say, we could pop a Vran Warrior in and consume it and spawn two lots of Arachas that we could then start eating. That's also an option, to be honest. And not a bad one at that. So let's see what happens here. We got an Imperial Brigade. Okay, that's fine. So I think actually what we'll do is we'll pop him in here. And he'll eat that, which will then spawn ourselves, as you can see, two sets of Arachas. It's maybe not the best strategy with the Vran Warrior, but I think ultimately I want to save my shackles in case he plays something like Letho, which is obviously more costly. Then we can pop this little eater down here. He'll eat that Arachas, and then you can see we're starting to spawn more Arachas, and you can see the chain effect is happening. The Nekker is getting boosted, and this is also boosting the Nekkers in our graveyard. So that's good to know too. The good news here is he's played both his Imperial Brigades on the same row. And what that means is as they get buffed by Spides, we'll probably be able to Igni both of them. So I'm not, hugely worried about this. Out comes the Rot Tosser. And we can, of course, lock that one, which is also an option. And you can see he's played that because he wants to basically kill all of our Spiderlings. But what do we say to people who want to do that? We say not today. And actually, what I think we're going to do here is play out our Unseen Elder. This is a good time to play him. So we'll pop him down here.
Why should I help?
We will eat the Cow Carcass. Spawning more Arachas. We'll eat an Arachas. Spawning more Arachas. And then we'll eat another Arachas. Spawning more Arachas. And you can see these guys are almost depleted, but we have a lot of Arachas here. In fact, they are depleted now. 62 points versus 37. And if he does play a spy, we're going to Igni his front row. So I think we're in a really strong position with this game. And you can see this is the power of Consume if you can start to, trigger the Consume effects. And we're going to pull a 9 strength Nekker out of our graveyard, which is pretty nice.
Patience is not a virtue.
So I'm guessing he's going to go for Rot Tosser. You can see he's still trying to basically Rot Tosser this row. That is his plan. We do have also a Dimmertim Shackles in hand to deal with that as well. So again, not too worried about what's going on here. So let's pop Igni out on the front row. And burn up both of his 10s. And that's why what he should have done is played one, allowed it to get buffed by a Rot Tosser, had the Rot Tosser removed, and then played the other one. Because then they wouldn't have had the same amount of points. Which makes life, happy for everyone. What's in his graveyard? We can actually take one of his Imperial Brigades. I guess he must be going for Rot Tossers here. Vicavaro Novice is not useful. He doesn't have an ambassador or an emissary out, so, really not a great pick for him. Out comes the Dimmertim Shackles now. And you can see this guy's still getting buffed, so we have 2 more 10 strength Nekkers in the deck there. We'll lock that one up. And there's the forfeit. Oh my god. That's just upsetting. I can't even send him a GG because of that game. Anyway, guys. Let's jump into a new game, and I'll showcase this deck in action once more for you.
We do what must be done.
The gate must be secure.
Okay, so we're up against Francesca and Scoia'tael. I don't think I'm going to need both of my first lights here. We've got 1 Crone, Caretakers, a couple of Vran Warriors. We could look for some Arachas Behemoths, basically. We'll get rid of a first light into Succubus. Succubus is nice, but sometimes, you want to be a bit careful about not having too much gold in hand, because I feel like in this deck that can be more problematic. I think I'm going to get rid of the Ekamara for the time being. It's nice because we can trigger consume effects, but like I said, we were going to need an Arachas Behemoth. We have it now, so we more or less have everything we need to start consuming things. So let's kind of be done with that. She's mulliganed an Elven War Dancer. Okay. Now, if this is control, this is going to be a massive pain in the ass, but we'll see how it goes. There's our Arachas. Then we play our Nekker, then we play our Vran Warrior. I mean, I guess actually we could actually play Regis to trigger the consume effect. That's not a bad call. I got First Light and another Vran Warrior. Interesting. I think what we can do here is play Regis. We'll put him in the back row, I guess. And then we will eat... Oh! Well, this is nice. We'll eat this guy. Because he gains 7 strength, and then obviously we triggered an Arachas spawn. We can now put the Vran Warrior in and start eating little spiderlings. The only thing we could have done is maybe held the Ekamara. I mean, I didn't know I was going to gain 2 cards, and I think mulliganing the Ekamara to find the Arachas was the right choice. Because I think if you risk mulliganing a Vran Warrior and then they kill your Vran Warrior, then you can't chain. And, you know, it's nice to have an Ekamara to eat something right at the end, but it's not the end of the world if you don't carry it over. Okay, so out goes the Vran Warrior. He eats the spider, another spider gets spawned, and little Nekker here is getting buffed. I'll also keep an eye on what's in our opponent's graveyard, in case there's anything that we do obviously want to claim. It's not really that useful though. So let's play our little Nekker now. Out he goes. In all his happy little glory. And we can either leave him and let him just kind of get buffed by this eating chain, or what we can do is we can play a Vran Warrior and start eating them and buffing up the Vran Warrior, because he'll then keep eating stronger and stronger Nekkers. That's also an option. It depends whether you want to keep points for the next round or not.
Upon which your kind dies.
So he thinks he's being sneaky, but we got plenty. You want Vran Warriors? I got plenty. But who cares? No big deal. I want more, to quote the Little Mermaid. What we got? 7, 6, 6, 3, 7. So it doesn't look like he's getting a particularly buffed unit, but then he does have those units that get, you know, buffed when you mulligan a card. We did obviously eat one of them. So it's worth being aware of that. Here comes the mulligan damage.
Watch and learn.
I can't see what's getting shot. This is the most annoying thing about Gwent. Opponent is replacing cards, so they're clearly mulliganing things, and I'm getting shot. But I have no idea who's getting shot until, like, right at the end there, which I find, personally, you know, really frustrating. I think we can probably afford to rally here, to be honest. Like, they haven't been playing weather, so I'm not really too worried about it. Again, caretakering, there's nothing that good. So I think we'll just go for this into the rally. We've got a second one, so it's not too bad. Oh, come on! Things I don't want to pull out of my deck. That is annoying. That is really annoying. It is what it is, though. Like, sometimes you rally a Nekker. It means that we won't carry them into the 3rd round, but again, not the end of the world. And there's the Frost. I like how as soon as I clear weather, the Frost gets played. We can clear this. The problem is then she'll probably Ragnarok me, but if she Ragnaroks me, we can then store everything in the Unseen Elder, basically. Like, we can store a lot of our strength in there, and in doing that, it is weather immune. So, you know, it's not the end of the world if she does this. Who's getting shot? Probably the Arachas at the back. Alright, can you just, like, stop doing that? Is that an option? Okay, well, it's fine. We'll do it like this. And now what we can actually do is we can Unseen Elder and eat this card, and this card. And in doing that, we'll buff up our Nekkers even more. The risk in doing that, though, is we're going to have 2 10-strength Nekkers, which means that we risk being... ignied, basically. But we'll see how it goes. So we'll eat this. That's now dead. We'll eat this one. And I guess we have to go for it. We can't, like, not eat. And if I eat one of these, I'm still going to pull another 10 Nekker out of the graveyard, which I don't really want to do. I'd rather save it for the next round. It does mean if they igni these that I get a 10 back, so that's not the end of the world. And they still only have this dude in their graveyard. This person is going really aggressive on this round. I can always play Crones if I want to win it. It just means that winning later rounds is going to be a bit more challenging. Is there anything worth succubusing? There's nothing really worth succubusing, and there's nothing really worth caretaking. I'm just going to play succubus for now, and just have the 6 points. You know, it's okay. I possibly should have actually locked one of these annoying cards, like one of these ones that kept shooting me. Boost a unit in your hand by 3. The problem is, like, they've been playing Hawker support, so they're going to have a unit in their hand that's really strong. And they're going to play it on one of the later rounds. And now I can't kind of take it from them. The problem is I can't really afford to give up this round. I'm just wondering if there's anything that will win me the round if I you know, caretaker it, for example. Choose a unit and toggle its lock. If it's gold, demote it first. I think we're going to have to play Crones. I didn't want to do it, but like I need to win this round. I think we're too committed to this round in order to pass it up. We're going to pull a, you know, a Nekker from the next round, so that's good. So that's not too bad. Which is the one that kept shooting me? This guy? Whenever you mulligan a card. None of these are particularly problematic, really. If it's gold, demote it first. I guess we'll do this. The thing is, I think that she's got... I should have probably just passed. I think that she's got, like, quite a lot of points in hand. Because she's been boosting units in hand. There it is. Oh, I probably should have just passed. I mean, I can caretaker this. But this only 8 points. Maybe we just have to go all in. I think we have to go all in here. And we'll put him here and he'll get eaten. So then that'll actually buff our Nekkers even further. So that's at least something. You know, we got 8 points, but we actually got 10 points out of that. So we're actually about 8 ahead. But this is going to be a big point unit. Yeah, there it is. But we forced them to play. We forced her to play them, which is quite good. And now we're going to keep it. We're going to get a 12 strength Nekker out of the graveyard. So I think this is okay. I maybe should have held off on the succubus, really. That would have probably been a smarter play. Oh, come on. This is not a card I need right now. It would be nice. Although I guess we could play it and then see what she plays. But then we draw a card. I think we just get rid of it. That's not a card we need either. Wow. Okay. Just let me have it. This is good. This is good. I understand why they did that. Because, you know, playing cards into that round, they were just going to put themselves at a disadvantage. So now we basically hope that whoever draws the better 3 cards is the winner. That is a good card. That is a good card. This isn't going to really be that useful. I'm going to draw Frightener now. Archgriffin. It is what it is. Right, what's in the graveyard? 7s. 6s. 7s. I think I want to just play Archgriffin and see what they do. If they play Weather, they play Weather, you know? But I'd rather not play my Katakan early. I think if they have a response to Katakan, though, they're going to play it. Like if they have a Scorch or whatever.
Why have you summoned me?
There's Fog on the front row. Why did I play this on the front row? Oh, I'm a dumbass. That was silly. What do I want to eat? There's an 8. 6s, 7s. I think we're going to eat the 8. Ugh, too many 3s. There's so many 3s in here. Alright, let's just go eat the 8. These are not sorted very well. It's kind of annoying. What have you got? This is going to give me
I shall not fail.
a few points. There we go. It is what it is. 21 versus 8, but I'm going to lose 2 from the Fog. Oh, I'm the winner! Oh, look at that, you guys. That was such a weird game. That was such a weird game. Oh, really fun one, though. Really fun one. Anyway, guys, that is the kind of consume deck in action. You can kind of see the chaining and how well it can work when it works and how difficult things can be when your opponent doesn't want to pass. Like, we both really committed to that first round. Definitely a couple misplays in there from me. I was like, oh, she's not going to play Weather, so I'll play the Archgriffin. But I probably should have just stuck with the Katakan and kept the Archgriffin and removed the Fog, and, you know, everything would have been nicer. But, you know, hindsight 2020. Anyhow, guys, if you like the deck, like I say, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments below what kind of deck you want to see. If there's any changes you'd make to the deck, also let me know in the comments below. Beyond that, have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!